This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
So David, how are you doing this fine day?
I'm good. Enjoying the rain and just getting ready to talk to you guys.
It's raining over there?
It is. It is raining.
Man,
Really?
we need some rain around here.
Yeah. LA and rain, that doesn't mix, dude. Hello guys, this is Morphin Network. It's me, Ryan, aka Dagger Boy. Hope you guys have a happy Friday morning. Go Dodgers. And we have my friend and partner, Leonard Moreno. His first live interview. And
up,
a guest, Zordon himself, David J. Fielding. Hi, David.
How's it going?
Doing good. It's an honor too. So let's start the interview. So David, tell us about yourself.
I'm an actor and a writer. I've been acting and writing for about 40 years or so. I have 2 degrees in theater. I lived in Los Angeles for a while. I was on a very popular television show, as everybody might know. I worked in video games for a while, and I currently make my living as a writer these days. So that's me in a nutshell. Well, look me, I'm in a nutshell.
Excellent. Speaking of acting, David, how did you get into acting?
I started really early. When I was a child, I was a big fan of comic books and superheroes, and I would force my parents to watch my reenactment of my favorite comic book issues. And then when I was in high school, I finally got brave enough to audition for plays, and since that time, was just really drawn to the stage and the theater, and that's what I wanted to do. So I made my stab at it. So there you go.
Nice.
Nice. So David, we know you're a voice actor. Can you tell us how you get into voice acting?
I kind of fell into it because of Power Rangers. The role of Zordon was rather unique in the fact that they only filmed the character one time, and then I would just go in and do voices after that. And then several of the sound engineers there at Saban had side projects that they were working on, and I was brought in to do voices on some of those things. And then when I left LA and moved back to the East Coast, I did voiceovers for video games. And then when I got into the game industry as a QA tester at first, and then as a writer and designer, I continued to do voices for video games all the way up until like 2007 or so. So yeah.
So speaking of Power Rangers, it's the 90s and stuff. So Power Rangers is brand new. What was the audition process like for Power Rangers?
My audition process was quite different from all the other actors that go to be on the show. All the other actors that I've ever talked to, they go through several rounds of auditions. They meet with the producers, they meet with the directors, and then they have not only do they read from the script, but they also have to show off their physical abilities, their skills, whether it's martial arts or dance or gymnastics or whatever. The role of Zordon, I think, was rather unique because they cast it late in the filming process of the pilot that they were shooting. I had only been in LA for about 2 months after I had moved out there, and a friend that I had known from college was working as a second assistant director on the show and had called me up saying they were going to have auditions for this part, for this kids television pilot. Would I mind coming in and audition? And I said, yeah, that's what I was in LA for. And I went down to the audition thinking that there would be like 15,000 other guys and that I would read my lines and go home and never hear anything. But when I got down there that night, there was just 2 guys. And they told us that they were going to cast it that night and shoot it the following week. And that was very unusual in my experience. And luckily enough, I had the vocal tone and the look that they were looking for. And they cast me that night. And the next week I was in the chair, get all my hair shaved off, painted green. The rest is history. So,
wait, you're painted green? You're blue.
Well, I was filmed against a green screen, so they had to let green paint. So The only thing that showed up was my head.
Okay, so I'm like, wait.
Oh,
The untold story of Power Rangers, Zordon was originally green.
yeah. Everyone, you got it here first. He was original green. All right, can you briefly summarize your time working in Power Rangers?
I always summarize it as kind of bittersweet because uh, the fact that the character was only filmed one time and they recycled that footage over and over and never paid me for it. I mean that's one thing, but I mean from an actor's standpoint, I think it would have benefited the character if he had been given more something a little bit more dynamic to do. In the latest Power Rangers movie with Bryan Cranston as Zordon, the way that they had the character's face move back and forth on the wall added a whole lot of dimension to the character. He made him more dynamic. And had we had that technology back in the day, I'm pretty sure they would have done something like that. But it's bittersweet in the fact that I only got to interact with the cast twice. I only got to interact with them during the audition and then the day that we filmed. Other than that, I would just go into the studio to do voices. And much like you are right now, it's just you alone in a room with a microphone and you're looking at the footage that they've already shot. So I was never on set with anybody. I never got to have that sort of personal interaction. And even though the characters on the screen may seem to interact and care about one another, when you're actually involved with it and doing it in the studio, it's just you and yourself. So I kind of missed out on a lot of experiences that the other cast members got to go through. I mean, I don't envy the fact that they were on set for 16, 17 hours a day, but on the same hand, they got to be good friends. They got to hang out. They got to spend a lot of time together. And I've only got to know them since we've been doing conventions together. And it's been really great how we all welcome each other back into the Power Rangers family. And I'm very grateful to be a part of their lives now. So they're a great bunch of people to hang around with. So
That's really, it's really interesting. Yeah, like I didn't. So really, you did not see them like, or once sound them. That's very fascinating.
yeah, yeah. It was a very strange and interesting process. I mean, from a business standpoint, recycling the footage of Zordon's face over and over makes a lot of sense. It saved them a lot of money. From an acting standpoint, it really sucked because as an actor, you want to do as much as possible, and not in an ego or a fame sort of way, but because you want to make sure that your performance and your interpretation of the lines and the characters comes across the best that it can. So,
Well, David, that your part's always important to the Power Ranger franchise. So without you, there's no Power Ranger.
well,
You
thank
got
you.
you.
Yeah, it's all my fault. I created the Power Rangers, so it's all.
You're the Power Rangers.
What are your thoughts on the Power Ranger fandom and the community as a whole?
They're awesome. I mean, I don't think I've met a fan that I didn't like. They're I mean, I know that they have very strong opinions about some things, and they hold on to some of their nostalgia very tightly.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, I think that they're all really great people, and they celebrate a show that has a lot of positive messages to it, and I think that is something that's important. I think that's something that the world needs, and that we're continuing to do it over and over. I think that speaks volumes.
Do you have any memorable and fun convention moments while traveling across the country?
Yeah, I mean, being able to go to Ireland or to be able to go to Jakarta to visit fans all across the world, that's an amazing experience. And again, it just talks to the fact that Power Rangers speaks to people all around the world, from different walks of life, from uh, just different areas, and even though some people may not speak English, they know the show and they're drawn to it for some reason or other. And so I think it's really great to be able to visit these places all over the world and be a part of people's lives.
before I do, I can tell you, like, Power Morphicon, I actually met people who flew in from Ireland to come to Power Morphicon. So you see that, like, this fandom is international and stuff, and it's had that cult following, that cult phenomenon since the early '90s and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but David, a couple of years ago, it was announced that there was going to be like a reunion, but not like Power Rangers. It was going to be like an independent film, a film called The Order, which was Power Rangers alumni coming together for one big movie. Can you tell us anything about The Order that you can tell us without like going
No
deep
spoilers.
no spoilers?
Sure. The Order really sort of began as the brainchild of Karen Ashley, and it grew out of a lot of fans asking, when are we going to see you guys on screen again? When are you guys going to do a reunion? And so Karen had been doing conventions for a long time, and I met her in 2014, and shortly after that, like a year after that, Austin and I had been talking, and Austin and I had been talking because Austin St. John wanted to do some sort of film project, and I let him know that I'm a writer, and I threw a couple of ideas his way that he really really liked, and he passed my name on to Karen because Karen said, I want to do like a reunion, or let's do a project with everybody that the fans want to see together. So she contacted me, and we started emailing back and forth about this idea. And the first idea we came up with for the project would be was more of a Ocean's 11 type thing, where the Rangers would get together and they would pull this elaborate con on some bad guy, and then end up winning, winning the day at the end of that. But back and forth during the conversations, we decided we wanted to go much more of an action-oriented route because a lot of the actors that are in the show are very physical. They can do a lot of some pretty amazing things. There, a great number of them are some fantastic martial artists. So we decided we wanted to do something along those lines, and so we sort of came up with this idea of this mercenary vigilante team called the Order that has existed way back in civilization. And over the generations, they passed the mantle on to younger and younger generations. And so the current iteration of the Order is this vigilante group that hops all around the globe, taking care of hotspots. They're not affiliated with any sort of government or country, but they take it upon themselves to try to maintain the balance so that the world doesn't tip all the way into authoritarian order, or it doesn't tip all the way into chaos. And they're very highly skilled. They're very highly motivated. But there's something that happens midway through the thing that sort of splits them down the middle, and then they start fighting one another. So that's the gist of that whole thing.
Civil War. Just kidding.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, when we were shooting the teaser for it, it was pretty funny because one of the guys on the crew had put on the slate Power Rangers Civil War. So that's kind of what.
I actually a couple of years ago I actually wrote a fan fiction piece about a Power Ranger Civil War, so that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest, we didn't know it was a Civil War, but now we know. You got to see, guys. So my next question is, besides the Order, do you have any upcoming projects you want to tell your fans?
Yeah, I have. We have the graphic novel series that just started. We launched the first volume 1 at Power Morphicon. Okay. There will be volume 2 and volume 3 before the movie comes out. I also have a novel that's being published next year through Caffeine and Ink Press. It's a supernatural paranormal novel, and I'm busy editing that as we speak. So, yeah.
Being an actor and a voice actor, what is your advice for inspiring actors and voice actors who are trying to make it right now?
My advice would be to always be learning, always be taking a class, or always be involved in some sort of acting group, whether you're doing scene work or working on your monologues. And the other pieces of advice would be to make sure that you learn how to network. And networking isn't just about getting a job. It's about making friends in the industry. So if you do get a job and you do get on set, make sure you know who's behind the camera, who's running the boom, who are the lighting guys. And those are the people that you need to sort of like make friends with, because those people move up in the industry as well, because they're not always going to be a boom operator. They're not always going to be a camera operator. At some point, they may be a director or a producer, and they might remember the person on set that was nice to them rather than, you know, some narcissistic actor who was just a jerk or whatever. But so networking it and making sure that you have a network of friends who are also involved in the industry, so that you can go out late at night, you know, and get a coffee and have a bitch session about what you like about the industry and what you don't like about the industry, and making sure you have that group of friends. And very much like the Power Rangers, you know, you can be a force to be reckoned with, if you know, because one of your friends might get a job and he might be able to recommend you for a job, and that those are the kind of things that they don't really teach you when you, or at least they didn't teach us when I was going through school to learn how to be a working actor. We were taught, you know, how to create a character, how to audition, how to get the job, but we weren't taught about how to maintain your life as an actor once you get the job. Who you need to talk to, um, how to manage your money, how to manage your finances, and make sure that you have enough headshots, that you have enough resumes printed out, that, and all those things that go into the daily grind of being a working actor. And my advice is, you know, to just keep putting one foot right in front of the other. I mean, and make sure that you're doing it because you love it. Make sure you're not doing it because you want to become rich and famous. That's a road that's very rocky and bumpy, and very, very, very few people make it. Do it because you love it. That's the reason you do it.
That's a really great advice, especially networking. Networking. That's what it's taught us in school. Like they force it in their brains, but that's good advice.
High school, especially.
Yeah. Okay, so let's read the comments. Don't worry, guys. I did not ignore you. All right, Edward Stock says, "What's up, man? May the power protect you, Zordon."
And may the power protect you.
Yeah.
Jake Gonzalez. Hi, David.
Hey, Jake.
Lazarus Korolatopoulos. Wait, sorry if I butchered your name. Please forgive me. Hi, everyone.
Hey,
Greetings from
how
Greece.
are things in Greece?
Oh, you do know.
Shouts to Greece.
Shouts to Greece. I need to go there someday. Hello, Mr. David. How are you? Lazarus from Greece here. I had also an interview from you long ago. Oh.
I remember it well, yes. Hopefully we'll get over there someday. I know that there have been a couple of conventions, so it would be wonderful to visit your country.
Ranger Select. Hello.
What's up, Ranger Select?
I know who your real name is, Ranger Select. I'll find out soon. Oh, just found in. How were the ADR sessions for Power Rangers when you started versus as the series went on?
The ADR sessions were like every 5 or 6 weeks. So on one level, it was really great to be a part of the show, but I also felt very disconnected from it. As I said before, I was never really on set with any actors, so I didn't feel like I had a personal relationship with them. And I would go into the studio like every 5 or 6 weeks, and they would have 4 or 5 episodes in the can that I had to do voices for. And if you remember in the episode, Zordon maybe had 4 or 5 lines per episode. They weren't a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I was able to do 5 or 6 episodes at a time. They were very brief. I would only go in for like an hour or so. And then that was it. And then I wouldn't hear anything again for like another 5 or 6 weeks. So even though the show was going on a day-to-day basis with all the other actors, I would only hear about it, every other month or something like that.
Ryan Laurel Thomas. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Leonard. Hey, David.
Hey,
What's up,
Ryan.
Ryan?
What's up, man? James Byron Alderton. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Lazarus. We have fans in Greece that they wish to see you in person.
I would love to be over there. Greece is one of the countries that I've always wanted to visit. It's the birthplace of Western drama, so it would be wonderful to visit that country.
Yes. I almost been there because I was in Europe for like 5 weeks, but I passed it. I wish I stayed there.
Yeah.
Ryler Thomas, I like it if you come back to Arizona again.
Hopefully, we keep getting notes about conventions that are coming, and I'd love to visit Arizona again.
Nicholas Barrera, oh, you're new. Hello from Milwaukee. Hi.
Shout out to
Hey,
Milwaukee. What's up?
Wisconsin. What's
From
up?
Milwaukee. And sorry, your Brewers are gonna lose today. I'm sorry.
Oh, Ryan, come on now. What you doing?
Sorry, I'm a Dodger fan. So anyway, just found him. It'll be cool to meet you at LA Comic Con. He is going there.
It's very nice to meet you. I look forward to it.
Mike Quish. Oh, you're new. Hi, Mike. Did you know how big the show was going to be when you filmed your first episode?
No, I mean, I liked it because I grew up watching Ultraman and Spectreman and some of the other Sentai stuff. I was a big Godzilla fan, so knowing that I was going to be on a show that had giant robots fighting big rubber monsters, I thought that's awesome. I was also very excited because it was in the same hour as the X-Men cartoon. So I was a huge X-Men fan, and I was like, oh, I get to be on the same hour as Professor X. But at that time, I thought, well, it was sort of like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of thing. So I thought, well, it may last for 1 or 2 years, and then it'll just fade, and nobody will hear anything about it, because all of the cartoon shows and stuff that I was watching in the 70s when I was growing up, they just sort of like went away. You didn't really hear anything about them. But because of the internet and digital media and stuff like that, all those things are coming back now. But at the time, in the early 90s, we thought, well, this job may last about a year, and then we'll move on to something else. But here we are 25 years later, and it is bigger than ever. So,
I mean, yes, it is. I mean, I think for me, it's like destiny. It was like right timing when your show premiered, because like I actually watched previous episodes, like live action teenagers were not filmed there, and then like dinosaurs were popular that time, Jurassic Park and Mecha. So live action Mecha, it was right timing. That was the right timing. So that's why I think that's why success.
Here's a question. You're a Godzilla fan. Which era Godzilla did you most enjoy?
Oh my god.
See, I grew up with all of the stuff in the late 60s and 70s. So my Godzilla is always sort of like the corny, they had, what is it? The
King
kid,
Ghidorah?
the baby Godzilla that was with him. And,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
but my favorite kaiju was always Monster Zero, King Ghidorah. That was always.
I love you now. I love Monster Zero. I do, Leonard. You don't judge. Okay. Ivan S. Serrano. If you could bring back any Ranger from the original 5, not JDF, well, who would be and why?
Oh, if I could bring back any Ranger? Well, I guess I have two answers to that question. The first one would be Billy, because I identify with the character of Billy. I grew up kind of nerdy, and I had glasses and was very into technical things, scientific things. So plus, I think Billy has a great character arc through the show. He goes from sort of like this bumbling, awkward person that becomes really very heroic in his own right. So I think it would be great to see Billy come back as be a part of the show. The other character that I would bring back would be Twee. I never got a chance to actually meet Twee because when we filmed the pilot, she hadn't been cast. The Yellow Ranger was played by Audrey Dubois, who will be at Ranger Stop in November, and I'll get to see her again there. But I think bringing back the original Yellow Ranger would be something magical, of course, because everything that I've heard about Twee is that she was an amazing person. She had a light that just drew everybody to her. So I think that would be my second choice. Yeah.
Also, for me, I wish you were a Power Ranger. That'd be cool to bring back as Power Ranger. Come on, Casper, do it.
I mean, if the new Power Rangers did it, he should totally get it too. So
Yeah. You should be the Phantom Ranger. They hadn't revealed him yet, so.
Well, I mean, I'm of the firm belief that Zordon isn't dead. He's out there somewhere. I think his connection to this dimension was just shattered. That's what Andros did with the tube. But I think it would be a really interesting series if a group of Rangers went out and tried to find out exactly where Zordon was or what happened to him. But because Zordon was not a part of the original Sentai, he's a completely American invention for the show. There's nothing from the Sentai that they base the series on today that has any sort of storyline in that direction. I love what they did with the character in the Boom comics, the Shattered Grid storyline. I thought that was an amazing take on the character. So I would love for them to do an animated version of the Shattered Grid storyline. I think that would be really great. When we were at Power Morphicon, we did the live read of the Shattered Grid comics, and it went over really, really well. And so to be able to do the animated comic and bring all the original actors back to do the voices, I think the fans would go ape over that. So
Yes, definitely. Netflix, Hasbro, it has spoken. You're watching this.
I did a fan casting in that too.
Robbie has it. Oh, Robbie, what's up, Robbie from the
Hey, Robbie.
Hey, David, did you see the 2017 film? What did you think of what they did with Zordon and Rita being Rangers? Also, when will we see you in the red spandex?
You will never see me in red spandex. I think I will spare the world that. Nobody's seen me in red spandex. I did see the 2017 movie, and I really enjoyed it. It was rather strange to be sitting in the audience and hearing the name Zordon over and over, and nobody was looking at me. But I thought what they did with the character was very cool. It was great to see that Zordon was a Red Ranger. I also like the fact that Zordon was kind of a jerk at the beginning because he was so focused on solving the problem that he was missing out on some of the things that he should have been concentrating on. But because of what happens with the character of Billy, he redeems himself, and I thought that was a great little character arc for him. When they first announced Bryan Cranston was cast as a role, I thought, well, that's great. You know, they're going to treat the character with some seriousness, and they weren't going to just treat it as sort of like a face on the wall kind of thing. And I thought Elizabeth Banks did an amazing job as Rita. She was scary. And I think, that was missing from the television show. But there are a number of things about the movie that I wish they had done differently. I wish that we had got to see the kids fight out of their costumes against the putties a few times before we actually got to the big fight at the end. I wish the Zords had been bigger like they were in the show. And also, I miss my big gold monkey. That wasn't Goldar to me. That was just a weird blob of gold. I'd much rather have my gruff, growling, golden winged monkey. I think that would have been much more fun. So
I saw the new Predator movie, and no spoilers, but there's a certain Predator that comes out, and I'm like, that should have been the original design for Goldar for the new movie. That is Goldar right there.
Ivan Serrano, hello from Massachusetts. Hope you come to Boston Comic Con soon.
I would love that. I lived in Massachusetts for a long time. I lived outside of Boston. I lived in Beverly, Massachusetts for a long time, and I love that state. So I would love to come back.
Awesome.
Shout out to Boston.
Boston. Except your sports teams.
Yeah, and it looks like the Red Sox are going to the World Series again, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If the Yankees are going to the World Series too, are the Yankees going to the World Series? I have not been catching up with baseball.
No, Boston got rid of the Yankees.
Good job.
I'm happy. I don't like the Yankees. Who the Yankees? Sorry, New York fans. I'm sorry.
We're getting so much hate from the New York fans now.
Ryan or Thomas, David, did you watch the Super Sentai Zero Ranger?
I have watched a number of the episodes. Yes, I have. And I've actually got to spend time with Yuta and Rico and some of the other cast members. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were at Morphin 2014.
Yeah.
I forgot. No, 16. Yeah, I forgot. Jose Gustavo Villa. Oh, you're new. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jose.
Hey, Jose. Nicholas Barbera. Are you confident Hasbro will do a good job with Beast Morphers?
I hope so. I mean, I know a lot of people give them grief about the Transformers movies and stuff like that, but I think they have a good handle on what it is to put butts in the seats when it comes to making films and stuff like that. So I'm pretty confident that they'll do a good job with the show and with the movies going forward if they decide to go forward with those.
Billion Rivera, Toho Godzilla.
Toho Godzilla. Okay.
That's right.
I'm more of a Heisei guy type of guy, but I got Toho's good though.
Yeah, I like Toho. Toho's my favorite. Billion Rivera's question. Oh, question for David. Do you play Legacy Wars?
I think I created an account when it first came out, but I haven't been on there long enough because I'm not that good at it. I think I get my handed to me a lot. So I should hop on there at some point, and because I know that there's been a lot of stuff, in the new characters and stuff added, and Polly is a Power Ranger now, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's a yellow octopus. Basically, I heard he was a descendant of Bulk, so that's what the story was.
Yeah.
Also, you got Street Fighters as well.
Street Fighter, yeah. Lazarus, Ace John. Oh my god, this is controversial. Ace Johnson, what do you think of Andros?
What do I think of the character, or what do I think of Christopher Kamen Lee?
We'll say the character. Just
he's the character.
Andros is a very interesting character because he starts off as the stoic, I can do everything by myself type character, but then he learns to accept, his mantle of leadership and also that he can rely on his teammates. So I think it's a great character that they have for that series.
Mm.
And Chris is a great guy. I love hanging out with Chris. So
yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome. I like him.
I love the guy, especially at parties. Woohoo! No, he's cool. He's a cool dancer.
Yeah. Oh, I know. We went to Morphicon.
Yeah, he's a good dancer. He's a good dancer. I would say that. Jose Beltran. I would love if he came to Wizard World Chicago.
I would love to come to Wizard World Chicago. I'm not sure if they have still have a contract with other actors or whatever, but as far as I know, if they contact our booking agent, we'd be loving to come. So
awesome. Fonzie Lethal. Oh, hi, La. You're new. Come to Indiana.
Shouts to Indiana.
And yeah.
Yes. Michael M. Pena. David is the man.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Billy Rivera. Man, no way. He should give you an automatic account with everyone unlocked.
Anyway.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'm always wondering, is like how could they work in Zordon into a game like that? But of course, since Zordon doesn't have a body, there would be no attacks, there would be no defense or anything like that. So, but it would be in the game. Do you actually play? Do you fight in the command center? Is there anything that happens in the command center, or is it...
So the game's like a mobile fighting game. And depending on how well you rank up, you fight in different locations. So you'll be fighting the streets of Angel Grove. You'll be fighting the Juice Bar, Lord Zed's Lair, the Zord Graveyard, and a bunch of other places from other parts of Power Rangers like Lost Galaxy, Megaforce, and Ninja Steel and stuff like that. So I don't think they've made a level yet where you can fight inside the command center. But unfortunately, I don't think they would give you an account to automatically unlock everything because microtransactions is ridiculous.
I think that would be cheating. I'm also looking forward to playing Heroes of the Grid. I backed that on Kickstarter, so I know that they're going to have demonstrations of the game at Ranger Stop, so I'll check that game out then while I'm there. So
awesome. Dave and Ryan Earl Davis. David, how did you like being Zordon on the show?
It was very cool on one hand because I got to play a 10,000-year-old wizard who was trapped in a time warp. But on the other hand, it was rather disappointing knowing that my character was only going to be filmed one time. I think it would have benefited the show had Zordon been a little bit more of a presence. But on the other hand, Zordon is very unique when you think about mentors and leaders of other super teams, because other mentors and super teams, at some point they jump in and aid in the fight, or they put themselves between the danger and their team. They sort of have a hands-on approach. But because Zordon is separated from everybody, it's just his head. He doesn't have the ability to actually prevent his team from getting hurt. The only thing he can do is to offer them encouragement and advice and to constantly tell them, I believe in you, you can do this. All you need is to work together, and you can solve anything. And so I think that's very unique, and it's a great message for kids and people that watch the show, in knowing that there's always somebody who's there behind them saying, I believe in you and you can do this. And so I think that's something that's very unique about the character of Zordon.
Awesome.
It would have been cool to see him out of the tube because, words of encouragement when you're watching your entire team get beat down for the first 2/3 of the episodes. Like, should I help? And I'm glad that the comic book was made because it actually explains why he's stuck in the tube.
Right.
Hello, David. Nice greetings from Germany. Oh, hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Germany. I've been there since I was 7.
Man, you went everywhere around Europe, did you?
My mom has connections, so.
Oh.
Place for the Krispy Kreme. Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. You gotta play for Krispy Kreme. Before we end the show, can I have one request? Can you say, okay, it's Morphin time, Morphin Network. Here's our own voice. May the power protect you, Morphin Network. My bad. There you go.
Rangers, this is Zordon. Teleport to the command center immediately, and may the power protect you all.
Yeah, okay.
One more comment. They showed out of the tune in the original movie. Oh, they did. But yeah.
That's true.
That's true. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching us. And thank you, David. David, where can he find you? And where can he find you?
They can find me on Facebook. My Zordon page is on Facebook. They can find me on Instagram at DJ Fielding Zordon. They can also find me on Twitter at David J. Fielding.
Awesome. Leonard, how about you?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram at @reckless_fox. You can find me on my YouTube page, reckless_fox, and you can find me on twitch.tv/recklessfox, where I play video game, do playthroughs, and I do live reviews of television and movies. Where can I find you, Ryan?
You can find me DancerBoy247. That's on Instagram. I have a Facebook, but that's for my personal reasons. But yeah, Instagram, that is. All right. See you guys. Thank you again, David. And we're going back to the podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.